the Ionizator 1000, the ultimate oxygen and hydrogen generator. Here's what you need.
Water, 9-volt battery, copper wire, salt, 9-volt connectors, a balloon, scotch tape, wire cutters, voltmeter, a few more batteries and wire connectors, PVC pipe, PVC cap, PVC cement, plumber's cock, light switch, electric drill, drill bits, PVC reducer, torch lighter, PVC cap, and nails. And a whole bunch of other crap I didn't think I would need when I first started making this. Now that we have all of our parts, let's learn how the science works. What we have right now is a battery with positive and negative wires in the water. Currently, no current is flowing because the pure water does not conduct electricity very well. But adding salt into the water will cause the salt to completely dissolve. The dissolved salts can then carry a current between the anode and the cathode. The applied charges cause hydrogen and oxygen to ionize. We get double the amount of hydrogen because of this equation. For every 2 molecules of water, we get 1 molecule of gaseous diatomic oxygen and 2 molecules of gaseous diatomic hydrogen. These gases will then rise out of the liquid and into the atmosphere or containment apparatus. But that's kind of boring, so let's just see it in action. First, we take our salt and pour it into the water. Next, we mix it together. Connect the 9-volt connector to the 9-volt battery.
Nice.
Lastly, just stick the wires into the water. You can see bubbles being formed, an indicator that the reaction is working. For the ionizator, the first thing I worked on was preparing the wire. The original plan was to use 8 wires. The first step was cutting the wires. The next step was to strip the wires of its insulation. However, at this point I realized just how little progress I had made on a single wire. I would need to continue stripping this wire down and then repeat this 7 more times. So instead I opted to just buy uninsulated wire. However, this wire was much thinner than the other wire, so I would need to use around 20 strands. The next step was to prepare the pipe. The cap was placed on to give us a reference of where we should drill the holes. This is the bottom of the pipe, so all holes will be drilled at the same height. I test the hole to make sure the wire will fit through it. The other side is a bit more tricky because I want to make sure that there's a separation between the positive and negative ends. This is to ensure a short doesn't happen, which would stop the process and possibly cause a fire. Next, I roughly measured out the amount of wire I would need and cut it out. But I need about 22 cords, so this would take a very long time. I'll show you a shortcut. First, upload your wire to Photoshop. Then, grabbing the rectangular selection tool, select your wire. Simply copy and paste enough times until you have all the wire you need. Then, grabbing the selection tool, drag your wires around. Once you have all the wire you need, export it. Drag and drop your photo into Premiere. Drag and drop the wire where you want it in your video. Perfect. Now we have all the wire we need. Now that I have all of the wire and all of the holes drilled, it's time to feed the wire through the tube. It's important to pull the wire as taut as possible so it doesn't bend around inside. Just repeat this 20 times. Here's how it looked with all the wire through.
Wow!
Using several layers of plumber's caulk, I fill all the holes to make sure it doesn't leak. Then I apply PVC cement to the pipe and the pipe cap to ensure a snug fit. Three nails were driven into the cap, after which a hole was drilled in the center. Using the outside of the heads of the nails, a balloon can be secured in place. This is where the gases will collect. On the other end, I connect all the positive wires and all of the negative wires by braiding them together. Speaking of braids, this video was brought to you by Braid Shadow Bridgens. With over 9 billion playable characters, fight your way for a victory royale to be the ultimate ninja warrior.
Download Braid Shadow Bridgens on your Tooth Tunes today.
Next was to work on the wiring. Using the cord I stripped earlier, I grabbed the 9-volt connectors and looped them around to give a solid connection. A quick test with a voltmeter shows that everything's working. To mount the batteries, I used a razor blade holder and melted the sides so that the batteries would stand up straight. Rather than repeat that whole process again, I found another shortcut.
What the hell? What the? How did he do that?
I decided I wanted to keep all the circuitry contained in a box, so I superglued the containers down. Then I cut out a hole for the light switch and attached the wiring. Now to test it. It works one way. Moment of truth.
Perfect!
At this point, I realized I hadn't actually water tested the piping yet, so I did that. Yeah, it leaks a lot. I tried using a torch lighter to melt the plastic. That did absolutely nothing.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Okay, Hail Mary time. I bought a gallon of knockoff flex paint, and I'm just gonna stick it in there for like 4 days and see what happens. I used a paper towel to help pack it in a little more. After letting it sit for 20 minutes, I applied tinfoil to the outside. I used more waterproof tape to hold it steady. I then filled it with water, and it still leaks. A lot.
That's when I came to a realization. You can't spill if you're underwater. I couldn't get it to stop leaking, so instead I made the interior and exterior water levels even. Behold, the Ionizator 1000. I added the salt, flipped on the switch, and waited for the results. Yeah, no, it did not work. It shorted out somewhere. I think it might have been the tape, but it has about 5 pounds of Flex Seal on there, so I can't go back and fix that. I would have liked to start from scratch on this, but I spent way too much time and money on this, so I just have to move forward.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
On the bright side, I learned a ton during this project, and I have plenty of new ideas that I want to try. So, if you want to see the Ionizator 2000, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.